President Biden's approval rating hits an all-time low as voters fed up with his failure to address skyrocketing inflation and, of course, the border crisis.
Just 33% of Americans say they approve of the job the president is doing, and 54% say they disapprove of the president's job performance.
Here to react, Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, is this the floor, or could it somehow get worse for Biden and Harris?
Wow. If this is the floor, then that's very, very bad, right? When you consider that Joe Biden's old boss and Barack Obama, excuse me, was about 10 points higher than Joe Biden is currently at right now, and he still lost 63 seats in the House in his first term in 2010. Boy, that's a scary thing. But it seems to be an impression thing at this point, guys, right? That this president is too old, he doesn't work that much, and his instincts are wrong. And once you have those three things in place, how do you undo that? How do you unring that bell? And on 5 major fronts, when you're talking about inflation and crime and border and education and foreign policy, how are things going abroad? Is the world unstable? All of those things right now are going in the wrong direction for this president, and more people now think that he's not the guy who can solve all of those problems, certainly not in the next 5 months before the November midterms. So here we are right now. The Democratic Party certainly knows what's coming in November. We've said it before. We'll say it again. Not a red wave, a red tsunami, Todd and Carly.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, especially when it comes to instincts. The president's approval ratings were really average, not that bad until the withdrawal from Afghanistan. That happened, and then he hasn't been able to recover ever since. And if you remember a few months ago, the administration went through this whole reboot. They said they were going to have Joe Biden speaking directly to the people more. Kamala Harris was going to be traveling more as well. I mean, this is like now the 3-month report card from that happening, and it is not good.
Carly, that was a great pivot, right? We go from as far as talking about this next topic, which is so important, that the president himself needs to sell his agenda. He needs to go directly to the American people. He has done one interview in 2022. One. Think about that. And that's because Jen Psaki, who runs the communications team for this president, and his handlers as well, and Ron Klain, who's the chief of staff, and others within the White House, think that if he does an interview, even if they're cotton candy questions, even if it's T-ball, they're still going to have to clean up on aisle 5 afterwards, and it will be a net negative instead of a net positive overall in these situations. But look, you talk to Democratic strategists, and we had one story in The Hill yesterday who says that the losses coming will be of biblical proportions, unquote. So now we have dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria, to quote Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, I believe it was, Todd. And I just don't see how things get reversed at this point unless they start to do things differently. And one of those things is talk to the press, go out and campaign like it is a campaign season, and sell your agenda. And the White House isn't even willing to do this at that point.
Those numbers that we just showed on that full screen, staggering. Only 22 interviews from Joe Biden, whereas Obama, 156, Trump, 92. Unreal numbers.
Yeah.
Wow. They're going to keep a lid on him, I think, until the midterms, if not beyond. Joe Concha, we're not keeping a lid on you.
Never.
Never.
Lidless.
Lidless Concha.
Thanks, Joe. See you tomorrow.